Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all students, new students to UiTM. So pertama sekali saya ingin mengucapkan selamat datang ke UiTM sekali lagi. Dan adik-adik ini merupakan adik-adik yang bertuah lah, yang dapat masuk ke UiTM, yang begitu ramai yang orang mohon, adiklah yang terpilih untuk masuk ke UiTM. Jadi pada hari ini saya akan bagi tahu sedikit tentang UiTM, visi UiTM, iaitu Education 5.0. So Education 5.0 ini merupakan satu idea yang baru yang diperkenalkan dalam 2 tahun yang lalu. So Education 5.0 ini adalah selari dengan perubahan zaman, perubahan persekitaran, dan juga seperti mana yang adik-adik sedia maklum ataupun pernah dengar, iaitu berkaitan dengan IR 4.0, Industrial Revolution 4.0. Jadi disebabkan kita mempunyai perubahan persekitaran, kita mempunyai perubahan dari segi kerja, dari segi pembelajaran, maka UiTM faham tentang perubahan ini, maka UiTM telah perkenalkan Education 5.0. Namun sebelum itu, biarlah dahulu saya bagi tahu sedikit sebanyak tentang UiTM sebelum saya perincikan lagi apa dimaksudkan dengan Edu 5.0. Pertama sekali, adik-adik sekalian, adik-adik berada di UiTM. UiTM merupakan satu institusi yang amat unik kerana ia adalah mempunyai agenda yang lebih besar, iaitu membantu anak bangsa. Namun pertama, adik-adik kena faham falsafah, visi dan misi UiTM. So philosophy of UiTM, let me just explain to you in English, is that every individual has the ability to attain excellence through transfer of knowledge and assimilations of moral value, so as to become professional graduates capable of developing knowledge, self, society and nation. So ini adalah falsafah yang amat penting di UiTM, kerana UiTM percaya sekiranya kita transfer knowledge, pemindahan ilmu, maka kami percaya di universiti ini sesungguhnya akan mengubah nasib adik-adik sekalian, dan juga sudah tentu akan menjadi seorang graduan yang kompeten dan juga relevan di mana era pun. Itulah adalah falsafah UiTM. Yang kedua adalah visi UiTM, iaitu to establish UiTM as a globally renowned university of sciences, technology, humanities and entrepreneurship. Jadi universiti ini amat komprehensif kerana dia melihat dari segi kepentingan sains, kepentingan teknologi, humanities dan juga entrepreneurship, iaitu keusahawanan. Dan seterusnya adalah misi UiTM, di mana to lead the development of agile, professional Bumiputras through state-of-art curricula and impactful research. So to become a global renowned universities, so we want to develop an agile, professional Bumiputra. And we try to develop a curriculum so that it is relevant and compatible with the changing environment. So that once you're out from UiTM, you are competitive, you have a towering personality and also relevant, and you can compete with other graduates, right? And to secure a good job and also skills, right? So basically this is what we do in UiTM. Another one is, saya rasa kalau pelajar UiTM sudah tentu kena faham motto UiTM lah. Saya rasa nanti dalam lagu UiTM pun nanti adik-adik pun akan pernah dengar motto ini, iaitu usaha takwa mulia. And we have a new tagline for 2020 until 2025, is that unleashing potential, shaping the future. Saya rasa tagline ini amat dekat di hati setiap orang pensyarah ataupun staff di UiTM ini, because we want to unleash your potential so that you can become a competent person, a knowledgeable person with high moral values, and also shape the future, right? So because currently the environment is so competitive and rapidly changing environment against the backdrop of technology and also IR 4.0. So it is not just become a worker, a skilled worker, but it's also to become a game changer, right? So this is what we try to do in UiTM, especially for all of you, right? Now, if you can see this slide later, so you can see that UiTM ada strategic plan. So in UiTM 2025, we want to be a globally renowned university. Dan dalam merangka strategi ini dan untuk mencapai strategi ini juga, Education 5.0 adalah intipati yang amat penting, merupakan juga pillar ataupun foundation, ya. So that you, and it's not just you, yeah, it's also us, we're working together so that we can strengthen this university to become globally renowned university, right? So far, just want to let you know, this university, since 1958, we have, until 2019, we have producers 840,267 students so far, right? Be it with master degree, bachelor degree, doctoral degree, certificate, diploma, advanced diploma, and professional. Jadi universiti ini telah lama berada di sini, dan adik-adik, untuk makluman adik-adik juga, universiti ini berada di Sabah ini semenjak 1973 dan merupakan kampus yang tertua di luar Shah Alam, iaitu kampus pertama di luar Shah Alam, ya. So the first branch campus is in Sabah. So you should be honored and privileged to study in this university, right? Now, so UiTM ini sebenarnya we are UiTM. We want to be a huge comprehensive university. What does it mean to be a comprehensive university? Is that we have a lot of programs to offer. And all these programs that we offer, the curriculum, what you learn, is we try to make you a holistic person, right? And also have an integrated skill. Sebab kita kena sedia maklum, things change. You know, 10 years ago, how we teach is different from now. Even right now, okay, you'll be doing ODL. So ODL usually it was just a small part of the education approach, but today it become one of those main approach to teach you. Inilah maksudnya kita embrace technology to impart knowledge to you. And of course, we cannot deny that the pandemic-led crisis sebenarnya telah memberi like an impetus for us to change this, right? Now, before we talk about Edu 5.0, I really want to bring back to you, and I always advise this to academic staff and also to remind myself and also explain to the student the purpose you are here in UiTM. And the purpose I am here at UiTM, what is my role and the purpose of this university? So I have to go back to the root of this root of education, yaitu National Education Philosophy yang dibuat pada 1988. I love this philosophy because I really want all of you to understand it before we talk about all this Education 5.0. So number one, right, education in Malaysia is an effort to further develop the potentials of individual in a holistic and integrated manner, so as to produce individuals who are intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, and physically balanced, and harmonious based on the belief in and devotion to God. Such an effort is designed to produce Malaysian citizens of a high moral standard. I repeat, a high moral standard, knowledgeable and competent, and who are responsible and capable of achieving a high level of personal well-being, as well as being able to contribute to the harmony and betterment of the family, the society, and the nation at large. See, when we talk about this education, our philosophy is not to make sure that you get A all subject, not A all subject. You become very skillful, very competent, and you know almost everything. But this is not the purpose of education. The purpose of education, the overarching purpose of education, so that all this knowledge that you have learned, all the skill that you have, right, you can contribute to your family, to the society, and to the nation. And to have that sense of contributing, you must have a high moral standard. This is the key challenge for us sebenarnya, to all academic staff and also to the university, to make sure that it is not just the knowledge that we have to teach you, but it's also the manner how you apply those knowledge with high moral consciousness, right? And this is quite challenging in this era when things are so complicated, and then things are very agile, very uncertain. Certain ethical value are being compromised. So this is what I have to tell you again. The purpose that you are here, yes, to get the skill, to get the knowledge, to pass. If you can get all A, that's perfect. But more importantly, is to make sure that we are here, to make sure that you are here, to make sure that to maintain high moral standards. Now, if we talk about the national education philosophy, the crux of it is high moral standard. Now, Education 5.0 has that idea. Now, let me explain to you what is Education 5.0, yeah? So, Education 5.0 sebenarnya is to embrace the elements of Education 4.0 with emphasis on value and future progressive thinking, right? Instilling values, principles in the learning ecosystem is imperative. See, in Education 5.0, what we emphasize is about having instilling values and principle in our education system. What is that value and principle? Two things. Number one is adab and amanah. So adab is to put the proper thing at the proper place. Amanah means basically trust. As you all can see now, a lot of amanah or trust somehow has been compromised in many aspects. So that is why Education 5.0 emphasis on these two things, adab and amanah. So the crux of Education 5.0 is learning, right, by all parties. So apart from adab and amanah, so Education 5.0 is not like Education 4.0, 3.0, 2.0. Well, if I have the time, I'll explain to you what's that all about. But basically, it's empowering. Education now is empowering learning, all right? The adab of learning right now is you and I. We work together to create knowledge. It doesn't just come from your lecturer. It doesn't come just from learning in classroom. But you yourself, you have to go beyond that four walls to understand and also to learn. And that's the purpose of Education 5.0. And of course, nowadays you have Uncle Google, yeah? It will explain to you, you just have to key in, you just have to type, and then that's it. You can get your information. but those information have to be validated. And that's where you learn, all right, by asking, by using the tools that you have, such as Google, and start asking questions with your lecturer. And your lecturer, on the other hand, will respond to you, whether or not the thing is proper or not, right? And remember this, yeah, in learning, there is no right or wrong, right? It's always how you justify things, right? Now, anyway, so the crux of learning, the adab of learning today is that we empower you, all right, and the lecturer to integrate, to talk, to learn, and to understand knowledge, all right? So this is the key of Education 5.0. Now, in particular, learning is connected to student or the learner, focused on the learner, demonstrated by the learner, driven by the learner. Basically, that's you. Learner is you. So, because you are so well informed, because people are so well informed nowadays, so the knowledge, the source of knowledge cannot be just from a lecturer. Lecturers are constrained in many aspects, or they may have limited knowledge in certain things. They need to learn from you. This is the key, interactive learning, right? So, such learner is seen as a whole person of a whole values, belief, thought, knowledge, skill are not seen as separate fundamentals, see? It's not separate. All the source of knowledge are not separate. It's not just very Socratic approach. Socratic means one way. Yeah? So it is more and more dialectic. So it's you and I debating, you and I figuring what is knowledge about, right? So this is what the philosophy of Edu 5.0, the adab of things. Right? We put things in a proper place where we say that education does not come from one source, but it is through the lecturer and also the learner interacting with one another. Now, essential to Education 5.0 of UiTM, there are 5 core areas that you need to understand. Number 1, learning that goes beyond earning good grade on campus. Look, in this era right now, well, to be frank, if you can get good result, if you can maintain a CGPA of 3.5 and above, that is a credit to you. That is what you want, actually. I mean, basically the university want. But it's not enough. It's not enough if you just a 3.5 or 3 or 4 flat, what they call here 4 flat student means you get A all semester, but it's not enough. You must have a unique or X factor in yourself. What's the purpose of having 4 flats but unable to speak or communicate effectively? What is the purpose of having 4 flats when you don't understand social skill? What is the purpose of having 4 flats when you don't understand a lot of technology skill? And what is the purpose when you have 4 flats when you don't have high moral standard, right? Now, personalization and personalized learning experience. So it's more like beyond that 4 walls, what I say just now. So it's so personal that you understand the subject so well. You personalize the learning experience, you and your lecturer, you and your clinical work, you and your software. So all these, you personalize things, just like the phone, it's so personal. It personalizes you. So that's how smartphone, right? So it's how learning experience supposed to be. It's so personal, so close to you. Design of space to learn and to create. So, if you go to the library, they have this creator space. So it's something like that. So the design of the space of learning right, is essential, right? And provisions of challenging tasks and content. So nowadays, if you look at our curriculum in the university have changed. So it's a task that push you or challenge you on certain things based on case, right? Well, you still have to learn a lot of theories, right, before you're able to challenge a certain idea. But the key here is to challenge the mind in order to become a progressive thinker, right? Inculcations of value based on learning culture. So again, this value is the adab, so the ethics of learning, where you are being transparent, being honest, you don't plagiarize. This keyword plagiarism in university is something very serious. It's something that you don't want to do it because it's considered as academic crime, right? But basically what we want to inculcate is that, being honest, being transparent, being clear with what you want to do, what you don't know. So all these are learning culture that we want to inculcate, all right? And especially now when you have a lot of information out there, where certain things need some that will require a lot of ethical practices when it comes to knowledge. Like I say, plagiarism, all right? So you cannot just copy and paste. That's equals 0. Don't do that, yeah? Right. Now, so all this, what I've said just now, the 5 core areas is geared towards or help you, all right, to achieve this ultimate goal, or help university, help UiTM to become a progressive thinker who are agile. Agile means simply you are very proactive, responding to change, and have strong principle, possesses a creative and global mindset, right? Now, there are 5 things, 5 pillars that you got to understand Education 5.0, right? So number 1 is that coherent and relevant curriculum, right? Number 2, innovative delivery and assessment, meaningful learning experience, transformative learning environment, and inspiring educator. So Education 5.0, before I go through all these 5 pillars, yeah? So the foundation of it is that we want to embrace technology as part of our teaching and learning. That is the key, the ultimate key. So that we empower you, all right, to search for knowledge and go beyond that 4 walls to understand things more clearer, and clearly. You get the idea and knowledge specifically related to the subject, right? So these are the things that we try to do, embracing technology. Then later we will go to embracing technology, and then of course nowadays you also can learn from YouTube, isn't it? There's a lot of things today. For instance, I'm from the Faculty of Administrative Science and Policy Studies. Say, for instance, nowadays you can just Google from a prominent economist or political economist in YouTube, and just click what is economic development, and then that will explain to you, like 5 minutes, right? So those are the things that we want. We want to embrace the technology along with the lecturer and learner teaching and learning process, right? Now, so, and UiTM try to do this. The open distance learning, in fact, helps you, facilitate you, okay, to be independent in searching for information. And this information will become your knowledge. And this knowledge have to be debated, have to be discussed in classroom. So that's the purpose of Education 5.0. Now, let me just go through the pillar of Education 5.0. So number one, whatever we say, whatever we do, whatever you learn, the curriculum that we have, it must be coherent, means clear, and relevant. So what does it mean? Meaning to say, the moment you graduated, all right, you have the necessary and equipped with the necessary skill, meet the industrial demand. And this is what we want to do, and this is what we have been actively doing, all right? And then to achieve this industrial demand, well, academic achievement is one important thing. But the second thing that you must have also is the skill, all right? So like computer skill, this is so basic, right? And other computer-related skill, other IT-related skill, and nowadays it goes beyond that. Now you have to look at content, content analysis, programming, web apps, skill to develop apps. So all this is so important to us. All right. Now, that is why in the Edu 5.0, all right, the curriculum that we design in this university is that we make sure you have that adaptive competency. Meaning to say you can adapt, you have the competency, the skill to adapt with the changing environment. Number two is social competency. So this one related with, making, talking to people, understand social cue, and you are being sensitive with the culture, you understand the things, how things are done, the way things, why they do what they do, all this social competency. Digital competency, obviously, you must have this, all right? You must have this. In the next 10 years, this is so important, right? And then 21st century competency, obviously this is related with Industrial 5.4.0. When we talk about autonomous, we talk about Internet of Things, big data. So these are the 21st century competency. And of course, the core subject knowledge. Whatever we say, we still need to go back to the source of knowledge. Basic theory, basic knowledge. You must have this, and this is the reason why you are here to learn, right? Now, and then the second one is the second pillar of Edu 5.0 is innovative delivery and assessment. So what does it mean? So we believe that lecturers. So we are not like 20 or 30 years ago, all right, where students are so static in the class and we assess them based on exam, we assess them based on how good they answer the question. No. So things are different now, right? Things are different now because now we look at how you argue, how you justify, and how you use technology to make your presentation more creative, right? So, so these are the things that we look at, and then we also look at innovative delivery is also active learning. Active learning, what does it mean? Meaning to say, we actively engage with one another. All right, it's no longer one-way traffic, and efficient, flexible, and ubiquitous technology. What does it mean? Meaning to say, nowadays, classroom. It's no longer at the class now, all right? And of course, I have to explain to you, if things are all right, means there's no more pandemic, right? COVID-19. So classroom, yes, you still have to go to class, but most of the time you might probably need to go out from the class to learn, and also part of your assessment, all right? So this is what we call flexible, right? Flexible learning. So lecturer cannot just simply, cannot all the time at the classroom to teach you, but rather they have to bring you out, or you have to go out to understand, to see yourself how are things like, right? I give you an example, for instance, like how is the economic, socio-economic environment after COVID-19. So I cannot just explain to you here how is it like, right? Show you the statistic, the numbers, and also the data. You have to go out to Kota Kinabalu, KK yourself, and see how business are doing, right? Then you have that feel, actually, what is going on after the pandemic, after the COVID-19, right? Now, so these are the things that innovative delivery, and we have global integrations as well. Now, now lecturers, right, or what we did in UiTM, we invite a lecturer from other university to give lecture through Google Meets or WebEx or Microsoft Teams, right? So it's not just me teaching you, but we can invite other lecturers to teach you too, to have that different perspective and experience of learning. And this is what we want to do, to make sure that your learning experience in UiTM is so rich and is so meaningful, right? Now, that word meaningful goes to the third pillar of Edu 5.0. That is the meaningful learning experience, right? So meaningful experience, meaning to say, it is not just reading. It is not just looking at slides, notes. Well, yes, you can you can memorize, you can understand, but you don't have that feel of that knowledge. So the best thing is what we want to do is that to make sure that you have a meaningful learning experience. Like what I'm afraid I have to repeat this again, what I say just now. If we have other lecturers from other university or from other country as well, that's what we did last time, right? So that student will have a new learning experience, a meaningful learning experience. And it's not just that. This time you have to involve in projects that you do yourself, that so meaningful in that learning, in that doing that project is so personal to you that you understand it so much. And that learning experience is what we want to do, all right? Pillar number 4 is transformative learning environment. Like I say, the learning environment now has changed. Well, obviously, now currently you are still at home or elsewhere where you use where the teaching and learning is synchronous or asynchronous. That one way of transformative learning environment. But assuming things are all right, right? We want you to be in an environment, all right, dealing with data, dealing with analytics, data analytics, dealing with you have a smart classroom. We want you to have that kind of environment. But of course, obviously, right now, well, we have a crisis currently. We still have this COVID-19, so probably we kind of have that limitation, right? And also some of the infrastructural limitation. But we want to have that transformative learning environment. We don't want you to sit in classroom all the time, right? Pillar number 5 is that inspiring educator. So for information, we have like more than 185 lecturers in UiTM Sabah, right? And I can assure you that all of them are very competent, all right? All of them are very inspiring. I myself, a former UiTM student too, I started from pre-com and then my diploma and then my degree as a UiTM student too. And there's so many inspiring lecturers out there here in UiTM, right? So what we want, right, is to inspire you so that you engage with knowledge, all right? You are not afraid with all these challenging tasks, right? An inspiring educator is also empower you to let you have that ability to search the knowledge and information yourself, right? And always think positive, right? So this is what we want. This is what the quality of educator that we try to imbue in this university is that, again, it goes back again to adab and amanah. I think this is so important. This is not just inspiring educator, but it's the role you and I. This is what we need to make sure that the fundamental philosophies of Edu 5.0 is there, and you will always remember this. Now, inspiring educator is also, very tech savvy too. They make classes interesting, and this is what we want to do. This is what we want our lecturer to make sure that they are like that, so they will inspire you to learn more, to understand more, right? And on top all that, to have a wonderful learning experience in UiTM. Thank you.